Last week, the CME changed the rules governing silver futures positions. Nobody covered it. Not the major financial press, not the silver newsletters, not the institutional analysts paid to watch exactly this kind of thing. I found it going directly to the primary source documents. And what I found changes the calculus for every silver investor watching right now. My name is Marcus Caldwell, independent market analyst. This channel exists to go where mainstream financial media won't. Primary source documents, Federal Register filings, CFTC submissions. Not summaries, not interpretations, not social media hot takes. The actual documents. What I'm about to show you is verifiable right now at cmegroup.com and cftc.gov. 3 simultaneous rule changes, all implemented within the last 4 days, all during an active delivery crisis in the silver market. Let me give you the exact filing reference so you can verify this yourself. CME Group Market. Regulation Advisory. Notice, reference RA 26015. Rules 559, 560, and 562. Position limits and exemptions. Effective March 12, 2026. If you go to the CME Group website right now, you will find 2 versions of the same rules listed simultaneously. The version that governed position limits through March 11th, and the new version that took effect March 12th. 4 days ago. That is not normal regulatory behavior. That is an exchange rewriting its own rules, while the fire is already burning. And before I take you through what each of these 3 changes actually means, if this kind of primary source analysis is valuable to you, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. This channel exists to give you the market intelligence that institutions don't want widely distributed. Independent analysis, no conflicts of interest. Your subscription directly supports this work. Now let's get into exactly what changed. Change 1, position limits restructuring. Position limits are the regulatory mechanism designed to prevent any single entity from accumulating a dominant share of futures contracts. They are specifically the rules that were supposed to prevent the kind of concentrated institutional control that the CFTC spent 8 years documenting and prosecuting between 2008 and 2016. The newly effective Rule 559 contains one provision that deserves your full attention. A market participant who establishes a position exceeding the limit has 5 business days to file for a bona fide hedging exemption. 5 business days. That grace period is not new in principle, but it is now codified in a freshly certified regulatory filing, effective during a delivery cycle where one institution holds approximately 40% of COMEX silver futures. File the exemption within 5 days. Claim hedging status, continue holding the concentrated position. That is the mechanism, and it just got quietly reaffirmed 4 days ago. Change 2, governance restructuring. This is the one that received the least attention and may carry the most long-term weight. On February 26th, CME Securities Clearing Inc. filed with the SEC a proposed rule change modifying its bylaws. Board of Directors Charter, Risk Management Committee Charter, Nominating Committee Charter, and Audit Committee Charter. Published in the Federal Register on March 12th. The same day, the position limit rules changed. Comment deadline, April 2nd. File number SR-CMESKI-2026-2. These are the governing documents that determine how CME's clearing infrastructure makes decisions. When to raise margins, when to cut them, when to introduce cash-settled alternatives, when to invoke extraordinary measures during a delivery stress event. Changing the board charter and risk management committee charter during an active COMEX delivery crisis is not routine maintenance. It is the exchange restructuring its own decision-making apparatus at the exact moment that decision-making capacity is being most severely tested. Change 3. The January 29th filing. This one requires a timestamp. On January 29th, 2026, CME Securities Clearing Inc. filed a proposed rule change classified as immediate effectiveness. That classification, under Section 19(b)(3)(a) of the Securities Exchange Act, allows an exchange to implement rule changes without waiting for the standard 30-day SEC review period. The filing described itself as non-substantive modifications, wordsmithing corrections, clarifications, and technical amendments. It was classified as non-controversial. It was implemented immediately. January 29th was also the day silver reached its all-time high. The same day that, within hours, began a 31.4% crash to $78.53. A rule change classified as non-controversial, implemented without review, filed on the highest price day in silver's recorded history. Published February 9th. Comment period closed March 5th. Those dates are not analysis. They are the public record. Now let me connect these three changes to something most coverage has completely missed. The January 13th margin system shift from fixed dollar amounts to percentage-based requirements fundamentally altered the pressure mechanics on large short positions under the old fixed system. A short seller holding 100 contracts when silver was at $80 posted $700,000 in margin. If silver rose to $100, the margin requirement on those same contracts stayed the same. The fixed system was structurally favorable to large concentrated short positions. Under the new percentage-based system, every dollar silver rises automatically increases the margin requirement on every short contract outstanding. At 14% margin, those same 100 contracts at $100 now require $875,000, a $175,000 automatic increase with zero new position changes. The short seller is not just losing money on the price move. The system is simultaneously demanding more collateral as the loss compounds. That is the mechanism that makes a short squeeze structurally possible in a way it was not before January 13th. Now, the physical market context, because paper rules operate against a physical backdrop that no filing can alter. China controls between 60 and 70% of global refined silver production. Starting January 1st, 2026, China introduced a silver export licensing system covering 44 approved entities. COMEX registered inventories have dropped approximately 70% over the last 5 years. On first notice day for the March delivery cycle, 60% of the entire registered vault was committed to delivery demands. The daily drain rate on registered silver is approximately 785,000 ounces. China's only domestic silver fund recently halted new retail inflows entirely. Not because demand dropped, because the paper price could not keep pace with the physical demand, driving the fund's actual silver holdings to premiums far above the paper benchmark. When a national silver fund in the world's largest refined silver market closes to new investors, that is a physical market signal that paper price discovery is losing its authority where it matters most. Now the honest counter-argument stated with maximum force. The CME's rules operate exclusively on paper contracts. They do not reach the physical silver in Samsung's supply chain. They do not reach the PBOC's strategic reserves. They do not reach the 44-company Chinese export whitelist. And every rule change that reduces confidence in the paper mechanism accelerates the process of institutional participants moving their silver exposure from COMEX paper to SGE physical, from London unallocated to Zurich allocated, from ETF custodial to direct vault ownership. If you own physical silver, coins, bars, or allocated metal held outright, none of these three rule changes affect how you buy, hold, or store it. The percentage-based margin framework operates in the paper market only. Physical silver is unaffected by CME governance restructuring. That distinction matters, and it should drive how you think about positioning. Here's exactly what to monitor going forward. Watch the CME Market Regulation Advisory Notices page for any new MRAN that supersedes RA 26015. Watch the CFTC comment submission portal for file number SR-CMESKI-2026-2. Comments are due April 2nd. Any institutional response to the governance restructuring will signal how clearing members are interpreting the board charter changes. Watch the CME warehouse report for the direction of registered vault data. Rule changes happen on paper. The vault drain is ground truth that no filing can rewrite. 3 simultaneous modifications to the rules governing the world's most important silver futures market. Position limits restructured. governance documents rewritten. An immediate effectiveness filing on the day of the all-time high. All verifiable, all in the public record. All implemented during an active delivery crisis that consumed 60% of the registered vault on first notice day. This is financial intelligence, not financial advice. Verify every document referenced in this video before you act on anything. The primary sources are publicly accessible right now. If this analysis gave you something the mainstream press didn't, drop the word sovereign in the comments. That tells me this work is reaching the investors it was built for. Like this video, share it with anyone who holds silver, and subscribe for the next primary source breakdown. Because the next regulatory move will not be announced on CNBC first.